This Chinese game just broke world records for being one of the most played games ever. Black Myth Wukong hit 2.2 million concurrent players on Steam within hours of release. That's more than any other single player game ever. But what makes this game so special? In this video, I will explain why the success of Wukong is a masterclass in marketing and why I don't see India pulling this off anytime soon. Now, a disclaimer for all the fanboys of the game. I agree that it is an amazing game with a challenging yet interesting story combined with state-of-the-art gameplay. I also agree that for any half-serious gamer worth their salt, Wukong is not an overnight success. I have been waiting for it forever myself. There's no denying that a good part of its success has to be attributed to the developers. Having said that, there are some key decisions taken by Game Science, developers of Wukong, that helped propel it out of the stratosphere. Almost nobody talks about this, but the game development behemoth Tencent owns a 5% stake in Game Science. I'm willing to bet that they are the ones cracking deals with American companies which helped it become relevant in pop culture. Look at this box. I don't think people understand how big of a deal it is to get Nvidia. Yes, that Nvidia, which has been on this crazy growth for the past couple of years and is at the forefront of this AI revolution, to put your game on their GPUs. There are also some unconfirmed reports about a deal with PlayStation. Also, the hype and anticipation for this game were not made overnight. Game Science dropped the first demo of the game back in 2020, and they have been building the hype ever since. Other than Nvidia, Game Science also partnered with Luckin Coffee, which is basically the Starbucks of China. The coffee house launched a dedicated Americano named after Wukong, along with some merch like 3D posters, and unsurprisingly, everything sold out instantly. Game Science even cracked TV partnerships. Chinese appliance manufacturer Hisense launched an exclusive picture mode named after Wukong in their select TVs. I will now tell you why it's not possible to make a Wukong in India. Firstly, there is no AAA PC game market in India. Take a look at this statistic. The PC market in India is not even 10% of the mobile market. Moreover, unlike mobiles, where you could play a high-end game like PUBG, even on an entry-level smartphone, most of these PCs are incapable of playing a game like Wukong or Red Dead Redemption 2. Now, you might say, Varun, there isn't a big AAA PC game market in China either, and you would have been right 5 years ago, but things have changed a little since then. China is currently the second largest market for Steam, right behind America. India doesn't even show up in the top 10. Game Science originally started out as mobile game developers in 2014 and only moved to the AAA PC game market in 2018 after having a couple of successes in mobile and seeing a surge in PC gaming in the country. Steam got officially launched in China in 2021, which further provided a distribution channel for Game Science, a channel that later proved to be really lucrative. Even other Chinese game devs were waiting for a AAA PC game to get both domestic and international success, as it has created a noticeable shift towards premium game development. Soulframe Liang, the director of Phantom Blade Zero, another Chinese AAA PC game, commented that if Black Myth Wukong succeeds in the domestic and international market, people would be confident about other games in their industry, and that he thought that it would indeed be a large success. India simply doesn't have enough Steam users to create that kind of demand. But this national success is just one part of the equation. Which brings me to reason number 2. Wukong's success is not only from China. It sold 10 million copies in 3 days because somehow through its genius marketing, whether it be the Nvidia deal, using Steam's Slipstream or other partnerships, it was able to become a global phenomenon. The good news is they marketed a good product. It cost Game Science $75 million over 6 years to make it. That's around 555 crore. No investor market in India is ready to put up that kind of money in PC gaming. Why? Because India hasn't had a proven success in PC gaming yet. Only after one success can other products follow along. Watch my video on Slipstreams to learn more about this. I'm sure once we have one case study, there would be 10 more. Investors understand that India to US distribution is really a hard problem. They know even if they were able to build such a game, marketing it to the world would be challenging. We have seen traces of that happening in film and TV thanks to OTTs, but we are yet to see that in the gaming industry. In my previous company, we built and marketed SaaS products. Games are slightly different, but it is the same philosophy. You build software, in this case a game, and you are trying to export that software outside of your own country. And let me tell you, it is extremely difficult. Moreover, SaaS is B2B. This is almost B2C, which makes it an even harder problem to solve. They even had to cross a language barrier on top of that. Wukong is originally in Chinese and had to be translated to English. There are even some mistranslations in the game. There is a counterflow skill in the game which is mistranslated to some extent. It takes a lot of luck and some legendary deal making to get those Steam topping charts. I saw early demos of Wukong 4 years ago. No investor in India has that kind of patience curve for a non-existent industry. People associate India with both art and development. But due to the education rat race in India, these have become fields that seldom intersect with each other. A developer would not care about storytelling or design, and an artist would not care about how their ideas are executed. Game development is the ultimate fusion of design and code. It has to be led by a person who understands both, along with a third skill, marketing. Unlike most things, it is not another engineering problem that can be outsourced to Infosys. And by the way, I 100% believe that it is technically possible to make a game like Wukong in India. People think we do not have the tech resources for that, and that's not true. Advancements in AI and Unreal Engine have made a lot of tech commoditized. Even Wukong, apart from its interesting storytelling and breathtaking graphics, is a pretty straightforward game. A lot of the problems they had to do the hard way have been solved for us. Because Wukong started development in 2018, they used motion tracking suits for animations, but now you can do animations using a tool called move.ai. There are even a lot of websites where you can get animations from. Wukong developers actually had to go and take 3D scans of rocks and many other elements they had to include in the game. But you can already get these scans for free from Epic Games using Quixel Bridge, which provides 3D scans of numerous assets to add to the game environment. Similarly, you can also use the Unreal Locomotion system, which works really well as well. India has all the talent too. Many of the Hollywood blockbusters you watch, Interstellar or Avatar, were animated in India. Rockstar Games has a studio in Bangalore which worked on Red Dead Redemption 2. You would even find an inventory system as a plugin for Unreal Engine. However, the engineer needs to be an artist. Wukong's real strength is in its art direction and story. It is like a movie that you can play. It might not take 550 crores for us to make it, but there still needs to be a market for it. Lastly, even if we can solve all these problems, there are a lot of cultural roadblocks ahead. Wukong is based on Chinese mythology. Imagine if we did that in India. How many people would it upset? In God of War, you basically go around killing Norse gods. We can't even think about something like that. In Wukong, you can go bash up the 4 heavenly gods that a lot of people actually go pray to. I doubt the sensitivities of the Indian audience would allow that. There needs to be some amount of creative freedom for this to exist. The problem is, we need a founder type person who at least has these 3 skills: development, design, and marketing. Now, if you have these 3 skills, you can do hundreds of other businesses in India and make tens of crores selling some old school offline stuff. Does it make sense for that person to take this bet? Why would they take the risk of being cancelled if you can do 100 other things and make more money? It makes no sense. Which is why you need someone who already has a lot of money and has these 3 skills. This is exactly what Game Science did. They developed successful mobile games and made money from it, and then developed a AAA PC game from that experience and revenue. But in India, we built the mobile game developers for not making a AAA PC game. A lot of companies like Gameberry in India are currently making mobile games and making the best use of the Google Play Store to grow. We are counting on many of these developers to create AAA PC games in the future. As a video game fanatic and a proud Indian, I hope we are able to overcome these problems going forward. Because personally, I believe Indian history mythology is so rich and has so much to offer, probably more than any other country. It should be put out there for the world to see. But until that day comes, I would think twice before putting in my imaginary $100 million to build a AAA PC game in India, hoping that day comes soon.